Hey everybody, hope everyone is feeling well and is ready to wail. Episode 14 is going to take us in a new direction. We'll begin exploring ways to play over the chords, which will open up a whole bunch of new melodic possibilities. In lessons 1 to 13, we concentrated on the melodic possibilities of just two scales, the minor pentatonic and the minor blues scale. Now, we learned a lot, but trust me, we just scratched the surface of the rich potential of just these two scales for playing blues. In Lesson 14, we go a bit further and start incorporating all the tones in the three chords, E7, A7, and B7, found in the most typical blues progression in the key of E. We'll continue our hunt for sweet spots in this expanded tonal palette, and we'll focus on ways to decorate the chord tones with a lot of bluesy inflections. The blues progression we've been using so far has three chords in its 12-bar length. Each one is what's known as a dominant chord. All three chords have the following four chord members: root, major third, perfect fifth, and the flatted seventh. These designations indicate interval distances from the chord root. Let's begin at the beginning with the E7 chord in bar 1, which is called the root or one chord. The basic chord has four notes played as follows. Now that's two-hole blow, slide out, E natural, the chord root. That's followed up by three-hole blow, slide in, G sharp, the major third. Now we've got four-hole draw, slide out, B natural, the perfect fifth. And last but not least, five-hole draw, slide out, D natural, the flatted seventh. When you put them all together, it sounds like this. In musical terms, that's an E7th arpeggio in root position. The next chord in the progression is A7, which is also known as the subdominant or four chord. Like E7, it also has four notes. They are three-hole draw, slide out, A natural, the root, followed by five-hole draw, slide in, C sharp, the major third. Next comes six-hole blow, slide out, E natural, the perfect fifth. And last but not least, seven-hole blow, slide out, G natural, the flatted seventh. When you put them all together, it sounds like this. In musical terms, that's an A7th arpeggio in root position. The last chord is B7, which is called the dominant or the five chord. It also has four notes. They are four-hole draw, slide out, B natural, the root. Five-hole draw, slide in, D sharp, the major third. Six-hole draw, slide in, F sharp, the perfect fifth. And last but not least, seven-hole draw, slide out, A natural, the flatted seventh. And when you put them all together, it sounds like this. In musical terms, that's a B7th arpeggio in root position. Now, of course, these three arpeggios can be played in other regions of the harmonica. Recall from earlier episodes that all octaves on the standard tuned chromatic harmonica have the same layout, with only one exception in the very top octave that we'll talk about at some point when it becomes relevant. For this episode, we're just going to woodshed these three particular instances of the three chords, starting from the root and sitting in more or less the middle range of the harp. Now on to the woodshed. What we'll do is play these three chords over the progression in a shuffle rhythm. Each note in each chord will be repeated twice within a single beat. But before plugging them into the progression, let's woodshed each chord with shuffle phrasing by itself. Here's how we'll do it. I'll play it once, and then you'll repeat it after me. And we'll do this 5 times for each chord, and just for good measure, we'll throw a little shuffle drum rhythm behind it. Here we go. Okay, we're going to start off with the E7 chord arpeggio. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's do the A7 arpeggio. Now let's do the B7 arpeggio. All right, now that you got the hang of that, let's plug these little groove nuggets into a full 12-bar chord progression. This is how these chords are sequenced in the 12-bar blues progression we've been using throughout earlier episodes. Bar 1 is the E7 chord, also called the root and 1 chord. Bar 2 is the A7 chord, also called the subdominant and 4 chord. Bars 3 and 4 repeat the E7 chord. Bars 5 and 6 repeat the A7 chord. Bars 7 and 8 once again repeat the E7 chord. Bar 9 is the B7 chord, also called the dominant and the 5 chord. Bar 10 repeats the A7 chord. Bar 11 and the first half of bar 12 repeat the E7 chord, and then the last half of bar 12 repeats the B7 chord. Now I'm going to play all 3 chords as they appear in their progression. The notes for each chord will appear on screen. Here we go. Now you might want to rewind and try playing along with me a few times. You can also use the full play along in the playlist to get the whole progression down. I'd also recommend using the E7, the A7, and the B7 chord vamp play-alongs in the playlist to woodshed each individual chord. Now this woodshed has the makings of a pretty nice little accompaniment line. And we're just getting started. Tons of bluesical possibilities open up with this chordal approach, especially when we mix and match it with the modal approaches explored in episodes 1 through 13. Trust me, the fun has just begun. As always, I wish you continued good health and I look forward to bringing you episode 15 in a couple of weeks.